Hey guys, I'm just walking you through my process for electric guitar. Yeah, just some of the shapes that I used and just some tips, not pro tips because I'm not a pro, but just some tips that I've picked up from playing electric for the past 2.5 years. So disclaimer, I'm not good, I'm not a pro, but this is just what works for me and my thought process as I run through like a song. If I hear a song or hear a part and I want to play it, this is kind of what I do. So yeah, let's just start. I primarily use the caged system, so that's CAGED, like caged, like you're in a cage. So it takes the normal chords, like the normal acoustic guitar chords, like C, A, which also can be played like this, G, E, D. So actually, this is mind-blowing. This was mind-blowing for me. But all those shapes, like this D shape, G shape, E, all of them can actually be moved up and down the neck. So what that means, like this D shape can be used to play an E because D to E, right? D sharp, E is 2 half steps. E is 2 half steps up from D. So this shape is actually movable. You could play an E with it by moving the shape up 2 half steps. So doop doop. This is technically an E. And the way this works, so all these shapes, right? C. The way this works, technically, all of these shapes could be movable because you imagine that the nut, where the nut is right here, this little thing. If you imagine the nut is like an imaginary capo, so this is capo 0, technically. But if you move them all like this, you could play all these chords up and down the neck. But you'd have to have your index finger as a capo. And electric guitar players, we're lazy. We don't want to be playing all the other strings as well because it sounds muddy, especially when you stack like a bunch of effects, overdrive, distortion, delay, etc. Like it gets really muddy. So the goal of electric guitar, in my opinion, is to play the least amount of strings possible, but still achieving the fattest tone. So that doesn't just mean like playing one string. Sometimes it means playing multiple strings, but you don't want to be playing everything at once because you want to have a clear tone, but that also sounds really fat. And that's kind of like the goal. So I'll just walk you through some of the shapes that I use that eliminates having to play like all these other strings. So for example, right, from your D shape, simple D shape, and it's movable. We establish that it's movable up the neck as long as you don't play the open strings. So I'm playing only the bottom 3 strings. So the way to play this, instead of playing it normally like this, I bar across them. So it's still, you're playing the same exact notes, bar across, and I put my middle finger down where my ring finger used to be. So this is what it looks like. Still playing the exact same notes, but it's a bit easier to play up the neck. And I can move that all the way up wherever I want. This is a D, this is a B, this is a C, back to D. And the fun thing with this is that your middle finger is actually playing the root note. So when you're here, when you're playing the D here, your middle finger is actually playing a D. This is a D. What that means is that you can actually use this to solo in the pentatonic scale, or you could use it to play a lead line, or like in Glorious Day, right? Like, so you can use that shape, and out of that shape, so maybe you're like spamming chords, and then you kick on like some overdrive to really punch it, so that lead line cuts through. But you can use that shape, and out of that shape to solo and provide, I don't know, like that upper lead line tone, which is nice. Moving on, so that was the D shape. The E shape, I don't really use as much up and down the neck. Like I never use it actually. You could technically do that. I don't really like it. The one I use the most is the A shape. So this is A, right? easier way to play, or what most people play, is like this bar chord, imagining that this is an imaginary capo. So to simplify it, you actually just bar across. Just bar across the last 4 strings. And that's an A. And the fun part about that is that on the G string, so this is the G string, the 4th string, where your index finger is actually the root note. So this is an A. So you can also solo out of this. So yeah, sorry, that sounded really bad. But yeah, you can use that to solo, and all of your lead lines can come out of that as well. So I use those 2 shapes primarily when I'm playing like a lead line, and just yeah, those are great shapes to know. One of the big shapes that I use comes from the D shape. So this is the D shape, right? So it doesn't matter. But say I'm playing in the key of G. This is a G. But I don't really want to be playing that last string sometimes, because maybe it's a little too bright, or we have too many cymbals, so I don't want to stay away from the treble end of stuff. I want something fatter, or like in that like middle, like upper middle frequency range area. So I can, out of this G shape, instead of playing the last string, I'll add my ring finger and the string below, like as such. And that's another G. And I really like the tone of that, especially if I can get it here. Yeah. Sorry if that was really loud. That's the tone of it. And then if I replace my index and middle finger with my ring finger and my pinky, it's like this, and put my index finger down here, and I kind of rest my index finger across, not barring it, just muting all the other strings. This is also G. And this gets like a fatter tone for the octave tone. Let's see what it sounds like. And if I want to play the 5, so a D in the key of G, you just bring this down, bring down the pinky, or like bring up, I guess, the pinky 1 fret. If you want to play the 4, which is a C, lift up your ring finger. And that's when you bar it. You're barring with your index finger. And then your E minor, your 6. So that was your 1, your 5, and your 4, and you need your 6 minor. You slide the whole thing up. It's like your classic minor shape. So you keep your index. So from the G, where your pinky is right now, you put your middle finger. Then you put your 2 ring and pinky finger on the string, on the D and G strings. right above. Hopefully I'll write out some chord diagrams. And then to simplify that, I kind of play like this sometimes. You can do a lot with just those 4 shapes. That can provide a lot of tone. And yeah, those are just some basic shapes that would help a lot. When I'm swelling, my swell shapes. So in the key of G, let's stay in G. I'm swelling with that D shape G, and that's my 1. My 5, I'll just bar across, and then my 6, it's like this kind of like this F shape, but on the last 3 string. Yeah, and those are just my swell shapes. And then the big thing is just octaves. When you're going to really big part, you don't really know what to play, and you just want to play some octaves. Just remember that 2 strings apart, 2 strings apart, 2 frets apart. So from my 2nd string on my A string, I don't know really how to explain that, but I guess just try. And you mute everything else with your index finger. I'm muting everything with like all my other fingers. As you can tell, I'm not the best at it. But yeah, with effects, it sounds really fat. And it's better than just playing like... It sounds a little, like, not as full. Other than... yeah. You can also do the octave shapes on the other strings, except this one now, because it involves the B string, which is like weirder than the other strings, now it's 3 frets apart. I don't use that one as much, but you could. But yeah, let's just try a quick playthrough, and then I hope that you can kind of see like what my thought process is when it comes to actually playing a song. So yeah, let's do it. Use palm muting a lot. This is where I'd swell, but I can't change patches right now. Back to the octaves. from that shape. I'm just palm muting it with some dotted eighth delay. I can't really set it right now. It's just normal B shape. I actually don't like the way this sounds, so I'm moving up. These are the shapes that we talked about before.
How many believe every knee will bow, every tongue will confess? Amen?
So we're at Swell. Use some Swell patches. You guys get the idea. Let's stop there. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much it. Yeah. There's like a lot more, but this is a lot already. So just let me know if that was helpful. Sorry, I'm like not good at explaining things because I don't know. I'm just not good at that. But let me know if this helped or if you want more. See ya.